Wajid Raza, and today we are going to discuss the SUMIF function. SUMIF function is a very important tool in Excel, and we can use this to sum the values of different criteria, sum the values with different criteria. So you use the SUMIF function to sum the values in a range that meet criteria that you specify. For example, suppose that in a column that contains numbers, you want to sum only the salaries of male or female employees. So in this case, we use the SUMIF function. So the general form of a SUMIF function look like this. You have to write is equal to and then SUMIF, and then you need three input: range, criteria, and sum range. Range is actually the values where you have a range is the column where you have put or mention the criteria. Criteria is actually the condition which you want to fulfill, and sum range is the column which contains your final values. It will be very easy to work on this function with an example. For example, you have two columns, and in one column the data is of gender, and then in the next column you have data of the relative income. So in order to and the problem is that you want to add only the salaries of male employees, or if you want to add only the values of female employees. In this case, we can use the SUMIF function. In this data, we have a total of employees of 15, out of which 8 employees are male and 7 employees are female. So in order to add only the salaries of male employees, we will implement the SUMIF function. Let's practice this in Excel. You can see the data look like this. So if you want to add the salaries of only male employees, all you have to do is write is equal to and then the SUMIF function, and then in the input range it will need the data of range. So in range, select the column which contains your criteria. In our case, this is the gender column. Then comma, and then in the criteria mention your input. So our mention your condition. So in our case, the criteria is male employees, comma, and the sum range contains the values of income. So select the income column and close the parentheses and enter. So you can see that in this data, the total male employees were 8 and their total salaries is equal to 56,500. Similarly, if you want to add the salaries of female employees, you have to write the SUMIF function and then input the range, which is the gender column, mention the criteria. Now for this case, our criteria is female, comma, and enter your data which is in the income column, close the parentheses and enter. So here you have the data which the answers. So from this we learn that the salaries of total male employees in our data set is 56,500, and the total sum of salaries of female employees is equal to 52,800. Hope you have learned a new trick. Thank you so much.